solar eclipse. It is currently 1:56 p.m. and the eclipse will be starting here at 1:59, so we've got 3 more minutes to go. Super excited! Got my solar eclipse glasses and got a great viewing station. Sun's right there. 1:57 p.m. 2 more minutes to go. Putting on my eclipse glasses. So the sun is currently a round yellow disc. These glasses are blocking 99.9% of the light, so safe to view. Very excited for the partial eclipse. Okay, so it's 2 o'clock and the solar eclipse has started. We can see a very tiny bit of the disc being obscured, like from the bottom right corner. It's getting there. You can definitely see it. It's 2:03 p.m., 4 minutes past the start of the eclipse, and we are definitely starting to see a little more of the solar surface being obscured by the shadow of the moon from the bottom right corner. I'm no expert, but I think that with these glasses that I got, I can see a little bit of solar surface. I can see like some sunspots and things like that. So yeah, it's very exciting stuff. So I'm out here in sunny Cleveland, Ohio, watching the solar eclipse. It is currently 2:05 p.m. I think, so about 6 minutes past the start of the eclipse, and I can see a little bit of the disc being obscured by the shadow of the moon. It's all good stuff. It's 2:09 p.m. now, about 10 minutes after the start of the solar eclipse. Here in Cleveland, Ohio, in a park, there is a lot of turnout. There's a lot of people out here with their chairs and their solar eclipse glasses. Everyone's out here watching the eclipse. We are super lucky to have had the sky clear up because it was very cloudy this morning and it was not supposed to clear up, but I'm very glad that it did. I see a goose on the rooftop. 2:10 p.m., 11 minutes after the start of the eclipse, we are definitely beginning to see a little more obscuration of the solar surface. It kind of looks like someone took a chomp out of the sun, which is kind of funny, but you know, it's a great view we have here. Having a great time. 2:18 p.m. now, about 19 minutes after the start of the solar eclipse. We are definitely starting to see more and more of the sun being obscured by the shadow of the moon. It is very impressive. Here from sunny Cleveland, Ohio, there's a great turnout here in the park where I am. Lots of people with their lawn chairs and everyone looking up at the sky. It's a nice environment, and the skies are very clear, hoping that persists the whole way through. We'll see. 2:22 p.m., about 23 minutes after the start of the solar eclipse. The solar surface is definitely being obscured a lot more. It is definitely starting to resemble a Pac-Man. We are beginning to see a little bit of detail on the sun's surface, and it looks a little bit like a waxing moon. There's quite a visible portion of the sun being obscured, so that's very cool to see. 2:27 p.m., about 28 minutes after the start of the solar eclipse. We are definitely beginning to see a lot more of the sun being obscured. It is really looking like a Pac-Man, like someone's taking a chomp out of the sun. Weather here in Cleveland is great. It's bright, you know, skies are clear, gentle breeze in the air, 68 Fahrenheit. Couldn't have asked for a better solar eclipse. 2:31 p.m., about half an hour after the solar eclipse has started. It's going really well. You know, you can definitely see a lot more of the sun being obscured by the moon's shadow. It's great weather, clear skies. There's actually a little bit of cloud drifting in front of the sun right now, so I can kind of see that through my solar eclipse glasses, but not enough to completely disrupt my observations. But yeah, no, this is really, really good. There's a lot of people here, everyone watching the solar eclipse, having like a little picnic. We've got our own little cozy setup here, everyone kind of taking in the sun, the warmth, and looking up at the solar eclipse. It's good. 2:33 p.m., about half an hour after the start of the eclipse. The sun is definitely getting a lot more obscured than before. We can see the shadow of the moon kind of slowly increasing, like it's moving in from the bottom right and slowly eating up the sun. It looks a lot like a crescent moon, albeit a very thick one. But, you know, it's kind of been incredible in the last half an hour how we started off with a slight sliver of the shadow, and that kind of like it keeps increasing more and more. It's really cool, man. Very cool. And there's a little bit of cloud kind of currently in front of the sun. You can see it through the eclipse glasses, but not enough to obscure the observations. But yeah, this is a great solar eclipse. It's 2:37 p.m., about 38 minutes after the start of the eclipse, and we are beginning to see a lot more obscuration of the sun by the moon's shadow. And, you know, I'm looking up and it kind of looks like, now it's definitely looking like a crescent moon, for sure, slightly thick one though. And I don't know if this is like empirical, just kind of empirically, it seems like it's gotten a little darker than what it was before. Like the sun was kind of burning my face before, and now it's not doing that as much. So I think that definitely speaks to the sun being darkened by the shadow, or rather the shadow blocking the path of light. Yeah, so it is currently 2:38 p.m. I think. The totality starts here in Cleveland around 3:10, so we've still got about 40 more minutes. But yeah, this is definitely a great experience. It's 2:44 p.m., about 45 minutes after the start of the solar eclipse, and so totality is at 3:10, so we've still got about half an hour to go until we get the 100% obscuration. It feels like it's getting slightly darker. The sun doesn't feel as intense on my face now, and when I'm looking through my glasses, you know, there's a huge chunk of the sun being like obscured. It's definitely beginning to look like the crescent moon right now. It's kind of amazing. I've been watching these, you know, last 40 minutes and watching the shadow of the moon kind of come up slowly from the bottom, like right side of the sun. It's really cool. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm very lucky to be here in sunny Cleveland, Ohio, for the solar eclipse. You know, it was supposed to be cloudy this morning, like that's what the forecast said, and now it's not. So I'm very pleased. It's 2:49 p.m., about 50 minutes after the start of the eclipse, and does the math, 21 minutes to go until totality. You know, there's a lot more obscuration of the solar surface by the moon. It's looking a lot more like a crescent moon. Looking at it through these solar glasses, and it has suddenly gotten a lot darker than what it was before, and I feel like the breeze has gotten chillier as well. Incredible effects from the solar eclipse. Very excited for totality in about 20 minutes. It's 2:56 p.m., about 57 minutes after the start of the eclipse, and about 15 minutes more to go until totality. A lot more of the sun has become obscured. Now we are seeing a sliver of the sun, because the moon has mostly moved in front of it. It's gotten a lot darker. Like, I'm looking at the sky behind me and it's like, feels like it's getting dark. And it's gotten colder as well. Like, there was a breeze and now we're feeling a little chilly. So that's just kind of incredible how, you know, blocking the sun kind of does that. It's wild. But yeah, it's very exciting. It is 2:59 p.m., exactly 1 hour after the start of the eclipse, and about 11 more minutes to go until totality here in Cleveland, Ohio. It has gotten a lot more darker. A lot more of the sun is obscured, and it's getting a lot chillier too. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in 10 minutes during totality. You know, like, I don't think I've ever experienced anything like this, so it's going to be really interesting. It's not unlike when the clouds are blocking the sun, like on a really rainy day, but it's also different at the same time. So yeah, very fun. 3:02 p.m., 8 more minutes to go until totality starts here in Cleveland. It's gotten a lot more darker than before. It's getting chillier, and I am beginning to see a very sliver of the sun through these glasses. However, even though these glasses block 99.9% of the light, allegedly, it's, you know, I'm kind of like looking at the sun from, like, with my bare eyes, and there's still a lot of light. So I'm actually very excited to see how much, you know, lit up it's going to be during totality. I do expect there to be some light, but yeah, I'm kind of wondering about the degree of darkness that we're going to have here in 100% totality. But exciting. 3:05 p.m., 5 more minutes to go until totality. It is incredible how much more darker it's gotten, and it feels like the only source of light we're now getting is from the sun, or what we can see of the sun. I'm looking at it through my solar eclipse glasses now, and yeah, it's like a very thin sliver of sunshine left. It's gotten a lot cooler here. There's a very cool breeze. I actually kind of want to put on a sweater, but we'll see. Yeah, it's pretty cool. 3:07 p.m., 3 minutes until totality. It has definitely gotten a lot more darker and a lot more cooler. We've got just a very thin sliver of sunlight left. It feels kind of strange. Like, this doesn't feel natural. It's like there's only one single source of light left in the sky, and it's the sun, which is the norm, but like, it doesn't feel like there's a cloud passing in front. It's just, it feels very different and very interesting. Getting a lot thinner. 3:08, 2 more minutes until totality. It's getting a lot more darker as we speak, and it almost feels like we're getting into like gray, like there's a gray light filter in front. Like, the skies are kind of gray. The grass, which seemed so green a while ago, seems kind of gray. Everything seems very gray, and it feels like there's a light bulb in the sky, the sun. The moon has obscured the sun a lot, and there's like a little ring, about, you know, like a small slice of ring of sunlight left. I know. It is kind of wild, very wild. It is 3:10 now. We are officially in totality here in Cleveland. A lot of the sun has been obscured. There's just a very thin kind of ring on one side. We are gonna approach maximum at 3:15, so about 5 more minutes to go, but it has gotten very dark, and this does not feel natural. It's a very different kind of darkness. It's wow, there's no words to describe this. 3:12, 3 more minutes until totality. It's very drastically gotten a lot darker. There's a very thin kind of ring of sunlight left. I'm still not seeing the corona like around the sun, but I hope that will be the case in about 3 or so minutes. This is kind of crazy. The street lights have turned on. It's very dark. Okay, very, very tiny sliver of sunlight left. We're losing that sliver of sunlight. It's very dark. It's almost like it's evening, but like it's not. Okay, Almost gone. Almost gone. It is decreasing as we speak. Not a lot more. It's getting darker. You can see Jupiter. Whoa!
You can see Jupiter?
Yeah, it's right there. Oh my god. Okay, we are now in 100% totality. It looks like it's you know, dusk right now, and the sun is totally obscured. This is kind of amazing. You can see a lot of rays emanating out from the corona. I can see Jupiter right there. Yes.
You see the red dot?
Yes.
That's Jupiter?
I'm not looking there. I'm looking at Jupiter.
Where is Jupiter? Oh, that's Jupiter. That's tough.
This is very crazy. It's, yeah.
That's so crazy.
Wow. Yeah, it was like a light switch.
Wow.
I can hear fireworks for some reason. I can't see anything right now with my eclipse glasses. I'm seeing like a sort of red dot around the bottom of the sun. Not sure what that is, but oh my goodness. Nope, still can't see anything. So the birds are not liking this. The birds are not liking this. I don't think anyone is. The birds are going crazy. It's, yeah, you can see like the moon obscuring the sun. There's like rays. Okay, so it is 3:17. We are beginning to exit totality maximum, and you know, we can see a lot more light. It's getting a lot more light now, so I can see a tiny sliver of the sun approaching. The geese were going crazy a while ago. They're still kind of not liking this, but you can now see like the light increase as the moon is moving away from the sun. And now I'm seeing a sliver of light like from the bottom of the sun where the moon, you know, previously was. This was an incredible experience. Nothing like it. No words to describe it. It felt like someone had switched off the, you know, like the light bulb in the sky. And yep, I think that is the end of totality-ish. So for about 3 minutes, I think, is when we saw, you know, the total ring, on ring effect. And we are now moving out of it, so it's going to take about another hour and a half for the moon to exit the solar eclipse. But as you can see, it is now a lot more brighter. And there we have it. Great solar eclipse of 2024, guys. It's 3:19, 2 minutes past the end of totality. The solar eclipse itself, like during totality, was truly amazing. We are now seeing the sun slowly re-emerge. And it's still a little dark, but it's gonna continue brightening as the moon moves away. It was an amazing natural phenomenon. Okay, 3:27. It's 7 minutes. No, not 7 minutes. Whatever. A few minutes after totality, and you know, we're coming back into normal levels of lightness. yeah, we're definitely seeing the moon kind of move in front of the sun, like heading away now instead of obscuring it, and it is slowly getting a lot more light, and it's definitely getting a little warmer too, which is crazy because a few minutes before totality it was getting colder and darker. It was a really unreal experience. I'm glad to have seen the eclipse during totality. But yeah, this was really good. 3:30 p.m. now, exactly 1 hour until the end of the eclipse here. It's slowly getting brighter and brighter. The moon is moving away from the sun, and so we see that sliver of sunlight kind of get larger and larger. I mean, it doesn't hold a candle to totality. Nothing holds a candle to totality. Everyone has kind of packed and moved away because you've seen totality. Yeah, it was a really good experience. I definitely see why people say that everyone should see a total solar eclipse at least once in their lifetime, because sure, if you see a partial solar eclipse, that's still very exciting. But the feeling of kind of the sun being gone for a few minutes, it is kind of hard to describe, but it was impressive seeing Jupiter and Venus kind of like out around the sun, and like you could see like the rays, the corona of the sun kind of extend beyond the disk of the moon. It was a really good experience. Yeah. 3:33 p.m. It's definitely getting a lot brighter again. My eyes kind of hurt now from squinting because of the glare of the sun. Yeah, it feels like the world is kind of returning back to normal. We are definitely seeing a larger sort of chunk of the sun as the moon is moving away after totality. It still feels a little dark than what it was before, but yeah, this is definitely like proper daytime, as compared to what it was during totality, where it was like, oh look, it's evening already. I mean, you could see like sun reflections out in the background behind me, like when it does during sunsets. But yeah, good stuff.
I don't want to.
3:45 p.m., about half an hour after the start of totality. We are getting back to normal levels of sunshine now, ish. The moon is moving rapidly away from the sun. The sun is still somewhat obscured, but yeah, it is definitely a lot brighter, and definitely feeling the heat again. So it's no longer chilly. It was very chilly during totality, now that I think about it. Like my hands were the fingertips were kind of cold, almost as if they're losing like circulation, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, totality was an incredible phenomenon. I definitely see why you should definitely look for totality, like 100%. Totality instead of like partial. Yeah. So I mean, these glasses, they were pretty good. They kept my eyes safe while I was looking at the eclipse, but they did not let me look at a lot of detail on the sun's surface. I'm pretty sure that I can see like some of the major like sunspots on the surface, but that's about it, and you know, it's pretty blurry even at that. I think that if I ever go to another solar eclipse, I will try and find better equipment. These I got from Amazon, and it definitely got me through the eclipse. It was good, very functional. But yeah, and like I tried to get some photos through my phone. This is a 15 Pro, iPhone 15 Pro that I got recently, and it was able to, like during totality, I took some photos of the sun, and it was able to get like a little black dot in the middle. People here with like sort of older models or like other phones, they were not even able to see any of that during totality, which was really interesting. So I mean, imagine if I had like a professional camera and I was like, you know, got like a proper sun filter and everything, like that could have been pretty cool in terms of getting good photography. That being said, there are a lot of dedicated photographers who would have been taking photos, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I think being here, the full experience, IRL, like in person, you just can't beat that. Capturing the feeling of like unrealness during totality, can't really get that through a like live stream or photos or blog post or whatever. So I will now forever say to anyone, go, you know, do whatever you can, just go see 100% totality. Like it was an incredible experience.
Yeah, that's what I tell people.
It's good to see, it's good to feel a little bit of the sun's warmth on my face now, but very soon this will become kind of uncomfortable. So there's that.
It's like things that I don't know.
Okay, it's 4:01 p.m. About 29 more minutes to go until the end of the eclipse. A lot of the moon is kind of moving away from the sun. There's still like a little, you know, wedge of moon in front of the sun. And I'm definitely feeling the warmth again of the sun. It's, you know, back to normal brightness levels pretty much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fun. It's 4:10, about 20 more minutes to go until the end of the solar eclipse. We are almost back to normal levels of sunshine. We can see a lot more of the sun now. There's a very tiny, like, you know, sliver of the moon. Yeah, it was a really fun experience. We're feeling the heat again. Yeah. This was an incredible solar eclipse. 10 out of 10 would recommend again. 4:12 p.m. now, about 15-17 more minutes to go until the end of the solar eclipse at 4:30 here in Cleveland, Ohio. I can now see a lot more of the sun. There's like a very tiny part of the moon's disk obscuring the sun, but you know, for all intents and purposes, we are back to normal, you know, like normal temperatures. It's in the 70s right now. Normal levels of light. The breeze has kind of died down again. The breeze has kind of died down. A lot of people kind of left after totality, so now it's, you know, nice and quiet again. But yeah, this was a really good solar eclipse. I'm pretty lucky to have seen it. It was definitely worth making the 6-hour drive all the way from Virginia here to Ohio. Miraculously, the clouds cleared up because it was supposed to be cloudy. Thankfully, it was not. So we had really good weather, clear skies, almost. There is still some cloud. It's kind of drifting over the sun. I can see it even through these solar eclipse glasses, but I can still see like the pattern of the solar eclipse, like the outline. And that's really all what matters. But yeah, this was a fantastic experience. Ouch. It's just so bright again. Yeah, so that is the great solar eclipse, the great North American solar eclipse of 2024. Fantastic. So soon after that last video, I packed up and went back home, and we all had a celebratory eclipse dinner later that evening. So overall, this was a very fun experience that I would wholly recommend to anyone. And, you know, if you missed out this time, there's a lot of solar eclipses happening all the time. It's just a matter of figuring out which ones are realistic to go to and watch. I hear that the next solar eclipse visible from North America will be in 2044, but there is one visible from Australia and New Zealand in 2028, and that sounds pretty promising. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me and watching. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time!